Hello and welcome to another episode of building Scarif, the Citadel tower in Lego. This week I got tons of really awesome stuff done, from the tower to AT-ACT legs. It's going to be an awesome week, and let's get right to it.
Alright, so as you just saw, I got this little cart working. If you guys don't know what this is from Rogue One, this is that little transportation cart that runs up to the base. Of course, this isn't accurate where it like runs right through the front door, but it's just a feature that I wanted to have, kind of like a play feature, and it'll be something so when you're at, if you come to Brickworld Chicago, when you see this in person, you'll be able to see the cart running back and forth pretty much the whole time. So that's the system that I was trying to work up with this, and what happens is I just turn on the power a little bit, and then what happens is this switch gets just flipped. I'll make something that it can either, like hit, and then so once it hits one side, hit that, it'll reverse direction, go to the other, and it can go back and forth across the MOC. So I'm very excited about that, just that I got that little power function system working. Got quite a few wires bundled in that little area, and I really didn't want to make a big deal out of the cart, so I'm kind of happy with what not really what it looks like right now, but just actually, yeah, kind of what it looks like, just what I've done so far. So of course I'm going to cover that up and somehow add a front and a back. We just really don't know what this thing looks like either, so I'm just going to spend a few more days probably on it. Just not spending a lot of resources and time, but I'll just be kind of finishing off what I've got here, and yeah, that's going to be the transport. Now you guys are like, but it doesn't hold figs, and that is true, but I just really don't see that happening unless I made a way bigger opening in the door, and then it's just a whole bunch of unnecessary kind of work. So what I'll do, I will have that scene though, so imagine you got the bunker way out here, another table, and you'll have like Jin and Cassian and K2 entering probably the doors to the hangar, so, and then you'll see this pod going back and forth. So anyways, that's kind of my solution for that little scene there. But yeah, so I have not worked on the tower in a little while, so I'm going to start time-lapsing right away here. But one or two other things. First, I've spent quite a bit of time working on the AT-ACT legs. I know you guys are like, but there's just 4 of them now, they're not necessarily done. And that's totally true. I've just been working on these so much. Each one of these just has a ton of pieces, and I'm really putting a ton of thought, and I'm just checking back and forth with the actual design for the AT-AT, but as well, if you guys see, these are totally filled with Technic, and just super, super strong legs. Like, I can just, they're not breaking, they're super, super strong, and I really need that when it comes to this giant AT-ACT walker, so that's critical, and I really just had to kind of deal with that. And I've kind of lost my creative juices for the AT-ACT at the time right now, so I'm just gonna kind of postpone that. I got a little bit of work done on the TIE Reaper, as you can see by all this yellow, which is going to get covered up by black. These are the TIE Reaper wings. You can see they're a bit bigger than the TIE Striker. Not super accurate. They're actually really hard angles to get. On the actual TIE Reaper, it just like angles out a little bit, and I actually don't have any of the right wedge plates to do that. Now that I think about it, I could probably grab some off of one of these sets, or a Millennium Falcon or something like that, but I might actually make that modification now that I say it. But the back angle is also really hard to get, so I'm kind of just going to keep the wings. For right now, I was thinking I'd pretty much just keep the wings. a little bit the same as here. And then of course there's like a bridge in the back that connects them. And then it's got a massive body. So all of those things are up next, but you'll probably see those next week. I don't know, but let's get to time-lapsing the tower. Alright, so I've got a ton of progress done so far on the tower. It may not look like a whole bunch, but you gotta remember that this is a absolutely enormous build. And let's just kind of work our way around here so you guys can see what I see while I'm building. Now I don't want to spoil this area too much, but I will show that later on. But as you can see here, I'm obviously working on something of a more an imperial room style. So I just spent the last little while kind of figuring out how to do this to get these these patterns that are always in the imperial buildings, or even in the Clone Wars. Lots of the Clone Republic facilities have this type of lighting in them. So I thought I'd kind of just put these wall panels or whatever they are in there to get started on that. But I don't want to spoil what kind of room this is going to be yet. These two that I've got going on here, the one that I'm just not showing, they're both more or less like kind of funny, creative things, more than actual stuff that you'd see in the actual Scarif Tower. Well, who knows? But so I don't want to spoil those yet. But yeah, so if you're wondering what these two knobs are, these are for the door. So each one does one side, and I know you can't really see it, but a little bit dark in there. But anyway, so that's all turning out really awesome. I've got everything from power functions and lights in that little compartment there, because there's just a whole lot going on. So I'm very happy. You know, it's the higher I build it, the more of kind of like my vision for the whole mock is coming to fruition. You know, it's starting to look more and more like the actual Citadel Tower. You guys are still like, I don't see it, but it'll come. It's just starting. And yeah, so it took me a little while to kind of get the groove of how I'm going to do the buildings and how I'm going to do the front, but I kind of got it now. And for me, the key is just to power through it. So I've got a good amount done today. I got a really good amount last time I built, and well, things are just looking really good. So anyways.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching so far. I've actually got a ton of progress done, whether it looks like it or not. I'm back to my kind of familiar space. I'm building a big base-ish thing, and I just feel right at home, because if you guys haven't been following me for long, I have pretty much grown up on YouTube here building clone bases, and now, you know, I'm just building a Phase 3 clone base, I guess you could say, or recruits, but basically Phase 3 clones. And it's just really awesome to kind of get back to that. So I do have a few problems, like how smooth and just blank that is, but I actually added some stuff here. In reality, that's actually supposed to be just completely flat. Same with like this, I added some texture. And that's not really supposed to be there, but I kind of added it because I want it just to be a bit more interesting. So I'm not going like for 100% accuracy, but I'm going for something that still looks good at the same time. So on that note, I actually have to start the cargo shuttle because I do have a deadline with that. And that takes up a lot of gray. And I'm going to run out of gray at some point if I'm building a massive tower like this. So you can imagine that I want to conserve some of that gray. So I might be shrinking down the shuttle from something that's like this big to something that's smaller and will fit easier in the mock, as well as in a group mock that I'm doing with my local LEGO users group. So lots of fun stuff. I actually am a student, if you didn't know, and I have exams right now. I'm right at the end of my program, finals like crazy, and it's going to be really good to have that done. But that means my classes end this week, which means more time, because you know, I just get to study for exams and build. Sounds pretty good. So that's going to be my next few weeks. I hope to get a lot more out there for you guys, and I hope that you guys are ready for more Scarif. The AT-ACT will have to be done in 3 weeks as well for that comic expo that I'm going to. So that'll be fun to get back to. After building 4 legs, I was just exhausted of that thing. I spent so much time putting Technic into it, and probably a bit too much Technic actually. They're way too strong. But yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I just need to get back to it. So I feel right at home building here, so I'm just going to continue this whole weekend probably, so expect a lot of progress on the mock. So I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Building Scarif. See you then.